Hey Acid Mods, it's Tech here. Today we're going to mod a computer. I'm going to show you guys how to put a window in it. Later on we'll move on to paint, cable management, lighting, all those fun kinds of mods. So our victim today will be this recently deceased Dell computer. Alright, inside here, it's kind of ugly, nothing really special to look at. A lot of you guys who don't know anything about computers, underneath this shroud you got your motherboard. These are your PCI slots. This is your RAM. This is where your processor is. This is a power supply. Your disk drive's up here. Hard drive would be somewhere in here if I hadn't pulled it out already. But not much to look at. Really not as complicated to work with as you guys may think they are. Alright, so right now what we're going to do, we're going to mask this off. I've taken off the side panel. We're gonna cut a design in here because I really don't like this Dell logo. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab some blue painter's tape, masking tape you can pick up at the hardware. We're gonna cover this up so that we don't get any scratches on it. Really, it doesn't matter if you were gonna paint it, but I don't know that I'm gonna paint this case. I might show you that on a different one. So let's get to it. Alright, so I've drawn out what I want to cut out of here. I made sure that it doesn't interfere with any of the tracks on the back that hold it on to your case. So we'll knock this out, so we need to talk about cutting tools. What are we going to use to cut our window? The two tools of choice that we got here are a Dremel. I have the flex hose on it with the cutoff wheel. These very nice for getting detail work. Not the best for cutting long straight lines. For cutting long straight lines, we want to use a jigsaw, and I have a, this thing's gotta be older than I am, Black & Decker, that gets the job done quite nicely. Really nothing too fancy going on here. First, we're gonna have to drill a pilot hole slightly bigger than the blade so I can get the blade into the metal and get to cutting. Alright, next we want to clamp down. I'm using just an adjustable clamp here. You want to clamp down our side panel so it doesn't go anywhere while we're cutting it. And you want to make sure that you keep the big part over your workspace so it doesn't shake on you and mess up your nice straight lines. Well, here we go. We finished our cut. We've got nice square window. Alright, so we've cut our window, and we may realize after we've cut our window that our edges are not as clean as we'd like. There may be some burrs and some nasty little nicks in them from where your jigsaw might have jumped, or if you're using a Dremel to cut straight lines, which you really shouldn't be doing, there may be some waves and stuff in there that we don't like that's going to detract from the look of our case. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab a file, and we're going to take our window here and just file smooth whatever we need to straighten out. Now that we've finished filing down our edges, we got to talk about what material we're going to put in here. A lot of people run to Home Depot and pick up some clear plexiglass. This stuff will do the job. I personally don't like working with it anymore because it melts really easily, and I don't know, it's just personal preference. I don't like working with it as much anymore. What I will work with is acrylic. Nice. I got some nice blue acrylic here. What we're gonna do next is trace out onto the acrylic how big we need to cut our window. And there's a couple different ways to hold your window in place. Some people will use a U-channel, which is a rubber that will fit in here, that you just cut your window just a tiny bit smaller than the hole you have, and the U-channel will hold it in place, and that works nice because it hides any imperfections you might not be able to get out with a file. But I don't have any with me tonight, so we're just gonna do it my way real quick, and I'll get this marked out and traced, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna hold it in place. You want to make sure that this is clamped down as tight as you can get it, because if it shakes when you're cutting it, it will split, it will crack on the edges, and you'll have these tiny little hairline cracks into your window, which, unless you're going for that kind of a look, you're not gonna want. So I've got my clamps on this, and I'm gonna cut it away, and we'll get this window put in. These are the little cracks that I'm talking about that happen when you don't clamp your plastic down. That's what you get for not clamping your plastic down. Alright, so now we got a smaller piece of acrylic to work with here. I am going to use some fan screws to hold it in place. You can use, since we're putting it behind, you can use super glue if the fan screws aren't going to be enough. You can go out and buy some socket cap screws and hold it in place, make it look real cool. This part is really up to you how you want to put it in place. Like I said, you can use U-channel to hold it in. You can use screws, glue, tape if you're not looking for something long term. If you're planning on maybe bumping your new system out from the old case, really up to you here how you want to hold her in. So we've got the side panel cut, we've got our acrylic cut, we've got our holes drilled, everything lines up nice and neat. Last piece of the puzzle, pull the paper off this and screw it into place. Like I said, it's a very simple way to spice up your computer. See all the nice workings inside. I don't believe you void a warranty doing it. You may, but you know, we wouldn't be Acid Mods if we weren't voiding warranties. And it's something easy that anyone can do. If you put a window in a PSP, if you put a window in your Xbox or your PlayStation, you can do this. So get to it. Crack open your computers and let's get modding.
What happened to the keys that got jingled in your pocket? Your fingers say to come, but your eyes